All right, I am live, you guys. Come on in, everyone. Join me on this Thursday evening. We are wrapping up one of the last months of the No Shame in My Walk series. And this month, I am going to be discussing spiritual shame. And today, I'm going to talk a lot about the background of spirituality as it relates to psychology. Gonna bring some deeper connections that we may overlook sometimes, because we get so caught up in like science is not of God. We should not, do research. But I think there are things that are of God, and I think that God created man so that we can be a representation of him on earth. And so if he is the be all, then I'm sure he was a doctor and he fixes things. And so it's okay to be a doctor and believe in science and be Christian. So I'm going to give everyone another minute or two. And you know what it is, whether anyone taps in tonight or not, this is going to stay on Instagram for the next 24 hours, going to save it and download it to the Facebook page. You'll be able to watch it on Facebook on recap all the time. No, I'm not ready to give y'all that yet, but I'm starting to work on the next series that's actually going to start in January. Gonna take a break in December because there will be no live series for the month of December. I know it's the holidays, and I have some amazing things in the works for you guys, and I am so excited. Like, it's going down. December 1st is my birthday, so on December 1st, or maybe a little bit after, hopefully on the morning of December 1st, I'll be able to drop that next big surprise coming for S.L.A.Y for the month of December. And I'm also really, really excited about this month's series, which is No Shame in My Spirituality, like No Shame in My Spiritual Walk. So I'll give you guys a little bit of background. And this is just perfect timing because so for those who do know me, those who don't know me, I was raised Catholic, amazing family, came from a faith-filled family, like just absolutely amazing grandmother, amazing grandfather, amazing mother, amazing father, believe in Jesus, instilled all of that in me. But yet, I strayed and made choices and didn't live, the most holiest of lives. But a few years ago, I had the opportunity to be in a place where I was just like, you know what? I can't be ashamed of how spiritual deep down inside I want to be. Like, I can't be ashamed of stepping into the call that God has on my life. I can't be ashamed of, wanting to outwardly have that relationship with him. So a lot of times spiritual shame starts with like wanting to be accepted in society. And I could definitely say I've suffered for that. I've seen friends suffer from that. I've seen family members suffer from it. There's this big misconception that, people who are Christian or people who are Catholic or people who are Muslim, ain't fun or like we not cool people. So, media portrays it, movies portray it. So then you become shameful of wanting just to outwardly say like, I love Jesus and I'm okay with that. Or, I honor Allah and I'm okay with that. Whatever is your preference of religion or association. And so you grow up like, oh, you can't be a part of the cool kids club in high school if you go to school talk about how much you love Jesus. But what if you just changed the world, And I think we're definitely in that phase right now. Like, this world is definitely changing. This world is becoming a place where our generation is starting to step out and say, like, no, it's okay for me to say God is dope. So that's a shout out to God is Dope line. If you haven't checked it out, follow them on Instagram because their stuff is amazing. They probably get a piece of my paycheck every month. So this generation is really starting to speak out and say, like, you know what? It's okay for me to say that I love God and I love Jesus, and that I am Christian, you know, or I am Catholic, or I am Baptist, or whatever your affiliation is. And I'm firm in that. So just to go back a little bit, as you all know, I've been studying in school. I just finished my master's, and in school they ask you to pick a theory. And so as I kind of went through, you know, my 3-year journey of my master's program, like I started off like, you know, I'll just probably be Freudian or something, and, you know, or a psychoanalytic, and it'll be cool. But then I had the opportunity to have a professor who practiced existential therapy. And I was just like, what? And so basically, existential therapy, I'm just going to pull up some of my notes here. So excuse me if you see me looking off to the side. So basically, it's kind of falls under what we call the humanistic school of thought. And it basically says that, like, the person you're dealing with is like a whole person, and that you have to deal with everything of that person, like not just one thing. And that includes spirituality. And some existential therapists kind of broke down for me, and I thought it was great. So I'm just going to read this passage, this reading that I have here, and hopefully it all makes sense and we'll be able to tie it together. So, the psychological theory of existentialism is grounded in a client having meaning to exist, to experience, to emerge, or to become. In order to view that client, you must keep in consideration that the client's wholeness is a process to find meaning to their existence, where they fit in the world, and what their spiritual connection is to others. Now, this is my writing, you guys. And doing life alone is detrimental to the psyche. Psychology, the original form of the word, when you break it down, everyone goes like, "Oh, you're a head doctor, you're a head doctor." No, in actuality, this is what the word psychology means. Psyche, the first word, Psyche, derives from the Greek term Suki, spelled, and I may be pronouncing it wrong because I'm not Greek, but it is spelled P-S-U-K-H-E. That Greek word actually means spirit, soul, or mind. And so when the word was originally put together, psyche, it was the study of the soul, the study of the spirit. So this realm of theories really recognizes how important your spirituality is. It's almost like it is the center of your being. Like, I'm going to reread this one part because it just makes so sense. It makes so much sense. It gives meaning to exist, to experience, to emerge, or to become. Like, we have to exist in this world. We're going to experience things. We have to emerge from the different things that we've dealt with, the different experiences that we have. We emerge from our experiences so that we can become what we were meant to be. And what do we say in church all the time? What's your calling? What's your purpose? That's it. Is that if your spiritual being is not aligned, if your spirituality is being shunned or shamed, or, you know, you're holding it back, you're stopping yourself from emerging and becoming. You're stopping yourself from experiencing and existing in this world. And when you don't feel like you don't exist, when you don't experience, when you don't become, then the next thing falls apart. You won't be able to find your fit in the world. And your spiritual connection to others will be broken. But when you're spiritually aligned, when you're spiritually connected in whatever realm that may be, then from there, you're able to exist in the world, find where you fit. That's finding your purpose. Like, yes, my purpose is to be a mailman. My purpose is to be the garbage woman. My purpose is to be a doctor. My purpose is to be a teacher. You find your fit in the world. And once you find your fit, then you'll be able to actually spiritually connect with others. It tells us, because of the psyche, we need others to live. Like, we need to be able to connect. Like, spiritually, our souls feed off of that. That's something I really love about my church, is that we have life groups, because we really do need to do life with other people. We really do need to be able to connect with other people. And so, you say, okay, Lauren, that's great, right? Like, how do we break the shaming part? I know for me, I had to get to a low place. Sometimes you have to get to that low place where there is no lower to go, and then you have nothing else you can hold on to. You can't hold on to your education. You can't hold on to your family. You can't hold on to your friends. And so all you have left at the bottom of the gut is your soul and your spirit. So then when you start to work on that, when you start to work on that inner spirit, that inner soul, the shame will fall off. I can say in my experience that I have never been so unshameful of my spirituality. Like, I don't care. Like, if you don't like it, guess what? That's fine. There may be something else for you, and that's okay. This is what's for me, and it brings me joy. It's not meant, the joy that I get from serving on the host team, or the joy that I get from connecting with people, like, that brings me so much joy outside of my job, outside of my work. So you just want to make sure that when you're thinking about spiritual shame, and I know society has played a lot of it. Society has definitely said, oh, it's bad to be Muslim, or, if you're Catholic, you're going to get raped by a priest. Like, media just loves to slay, literally in a bad way, religion or Christianity or whatever your association is. And so because of that, it instills fear into people. And it's almost like a control factor. It's almost like they know. It's like they know that if they can attack the spirit, they know that if we can get you to be fearful, to be spiritual, then we can stop you from getting to your purpose. We can stop you from growing. And you really need to have that center, that spirituality. Like, once you break that shame of that and you find yourself in the center of your spirituality, and you're like, whatever that association is, like, I am good, I am with it. Either you with it or you not. You will just start to see doors open up. Like, your eyes will be open. Your connections to people will be more genuine. Relationships that you're already in will start to flourish. Or you'll start getting clues to relationships that probably should have never been there in the first place. So, it's definitely a journey. It's definitely a difficult road when there are so many roadblocks. So how can we stop the roadblocks? Is be a voice like this. I created S.L.A.Y. S.L.A.Y came to me through a dream. And I believe, it's my belief, that through my dreams, God speaks to me, because I associate myself as a Christian. And through that dream, this was what I was supposed to do. Like, had I not done this, someone, was going to miss out on the one sentence that they maybe needed to hear so that they could live another day. Or someone was going to miss, having a deeper understanding of their mental health. So that's how I created this. And then from there, I just started making all these connections, and they're like genuine connections. Like, today, I went to my girls at Excel Academy, and those are now like genuine connections that I have. And I got to talk to them about how the spirit of the person, they're like magnetic. So it's very pertinent that, you be very clear on what your spiritual association is, because, someone can try and tear down your spirit. And if they do, they can be successful at it. And that's what puts you in depression. That's what puts you in suicide modes. That's what puts you through anxiety. That's what puts you in those dark places because, you know, the shame allowed fear to come in and bring you further down. So, you know, today was just like a wrap up of like my understanding of shame, how it's really everything is so interconnected, how spirituality plays a part in your psyche, your spirit, and your mind, and how with having your psyche together, having your spirituality together, you know, you'll really be able to then manifest the things that are in your mind. And so today was really short. I didn't have a whole lot for today, just a quick 20 minutes today. So if you miss anything, please feel free to rewatch and see like, what did I miss? What happened? You know, these are quick sessions. They're not meant to be long. Next week, we will continue spiritual shame. But I think I'll have a special guest next week. I will let you guys know. Be on the lookout. Again, I told you guys on December, we will not have our session. So this is our last session for No Shame in Our Walk, ladies. Last session. And after that, we'll be starting a new series in January. And it's going to be a little bit different. I'm really excited about the new series. I'm going to try to present every series differently and bring you guys something new and fresh. And as it comes to me, I'm going to deliver it to you guys. Remember, for any bookings, please email me at info@usla.org. DM me at SLAY_SLAY on Instagram, or you can go on Facebook. If you put in I Slay, You Slay, it'll come up there. Thank you guys for tuning in. Oh, thank you. I'm glad it was enough. But we're going to carry through till next week. A special guest. And we're going to continue spiritual shame. We only had 2 sessions for spiritual shame this month. We're going to talk about some skills, deeper, expanded skills on, you know, spiritual shame and how we start breaking those shame chains for spirituality, so that you can step into what is yours and what is for you. So you can step into what your calling is, what your purpose is, and not be afraid to say, you know, I believe in whatever that is. Like, I believe in Jesus and I love him and he's so amazing and God has been so good. And I will continue to shout it from the rooftops. And as I continue to shout, I believe he will continue to show me grace and mercy. So again, thank you guys. Watch the recap if you've missed the beginning. It's been great seeing you. See you next week.